So we did a few questions based on Young's modulus. Let us move further in Young's modulus and all. Okay. Actually, this was a rope of length 2L. This. Okay. And when we hanged this block of M, so it went like this. So the question is, how much will be the dip? Let me call it H. All right. So this is L A Y. So question is, a block of mass M is hanged by a wire as shown by a horizontal wire, you can say. Horizontal wire as shown, due to which wire get extended, and there is a dip H in the wire as seen. Find value of H. Find value of H. Please find, everyone. Okay, theta is very small. Theta is very small. It is given to you. Please solve. Give me the answer, everyone. Okay, everyone, please pay attention. Enough time given. Mg is acting downward. Tension will be acting upward. Okay. I am considering force in this wire as F. So force on this wire will also be F due to symmetry. Now this F can be resolved into two components. One will be F cos theta and one will be F sin theta. Similarly, in this direction, this will be F cos theta and this will be F sin theta. So along vertical, if you see along vertical, so along vertical T minus mg is equal to 0, equation number 1, and 2f sin theta minus t is equal to 0. So that gives us 2f sin theta is equal to mg. 2f sin theta is equal to mg. Now let us apply Young's modulus concept. So y is equal to f upon a upon delta L by L. Y is equal to f upon a upon delta L by L. Now how much was this value of delta L by L? So let us see. Let us see. If we see, everyone, please pay attention. So this distance is L. It was given in the beginning. If the dip is h, then this distance will be under root of h square plus L square. Okay. So delta L will be under the root of L square plus h square. Delta L will be under root of L square plus h square minus L minus L. Okay, because this under root of h square plus L square is the length of hypotenuse and this is the final length. of the wire after stretching. So if you subtract initial length from final length, then what are you getting? Increase in length. So if you solve it further, what you can get is, if I say L common, if I take that common, then what I am left with, 1 plus h square upon L square, and is it as it is root, it is power half minus 1, and that is delta L. So in next step, delta L by L becomes, if I expand this power half, so pay attention what this will be. So 1 plus 1 by 2 h square upon L square plus higher terms minus 1. So now here this one and this one got cancelled. So basically delta L by L becomes 1 by 2 h square upon L square. Higher terms will be negligible. Higher terms will be negligible. Okay. So basically I got value of delta L by L from here. I got value of delta L by L from here, and I am going to put that value in equation 4. Let me call this 5. So from equation 3, 4 and 5. From equation 3, 4 and 5. So from equation 3, 4 and 5, what we can see is y is equal to f upon a upon delta L by L, and delta L by L is 1 by 2 h square upon L square. So I can write it here, and this will be y is equal to 2f L square upon a h square. Okay, this is equation, let's say, 6. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the value of f. If you see, 2f sine theta is equal to mg, so f is equal to mg upon 2 sine theta. F is equal to mg upon 2 sine theta. Yes or no? So y is equal to 2, this f will be mg upon 2 sine theta into L square upon ah square. Alright, so this 2 will get cancelled. Acha, we know when theta is small, sine theta is equal to tan theta is equal to theta. Okay, so sine theta is equal to tan theta is equal to theta, then tan theta is what? Perpendicular upon base, so h by L. So what we can write is y is equal to m g L square upon a h square into h by L. So this L goes up, and now the question is almost over. So basically h cube is equal to mg L cube upon ay. H comes out to be mg L cube upon ay. So this will be h is equal to, now L comes out because we are taking cube root, and cube root of mg upon ay, and this is cube root, so I am mentioning 3 here. Please note everyone. I want you all to repeat this question once again after the class. I want you all to repeat this question once again after the class.
So the screen is frozen, I guess.
Is it?
So now it is visible.
All right.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
How did you get that fifth equation? I didn't understood it.
Okay. See, there is something called binomial expansion. I expanded binomially after this. Expanded binomially. And binomial expansion says if you have 1 plus x to the power n, where x is very small, so it is 1 plus nx plus n into n minus 1 upon factorial 2 x square plus and so on. Now, if suppose x is very small, then x square will be very small. So that means it will become negligible. So that's what we did. As h is very small, so h square will also be very small. So we neglected those higher terms. I mentioned those higher terms as higher terms and then we neglected it. Did you notice? So this we got using binomial expansion. Okay.
Okay, sir, you just use it like a formula.
Yeah, it is a formula. It is a formula.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Any other question, anyone? Can we move further? Okay. Next question. So this is a pipe or you can say cylinder. Total length is L. This force is 3F. Here it is F. Here it is 2F more. This length is L by 3. This length is 2L by 3. Young's modulus is Y and area is A. Question is find Find elongation in cylinder. Okay, I hope you understood. The 3F force is in left direction. The 2F force is at right and right direction. F force is acting in right direction but not at end. It is acting in between. It is acting at this point. Okay. So how much will be the elongation, total elongation in cylinder? You need to find out. Please find everyone.
So,
Yes.
so what is the meaning of this that F and 2F, and they are in different colors?
This is different colors is just to make you aware that okay, one force is here, one force is there.
So,
Otherwise, there is no other meaning of different colors. Just to show you that okay, one force is only at this point and other point is only at this point. And
so
F and 2F as
uh,
F and 2F as the name are suggesting, one force is F and one force is 2F. So values are
okay,
different of forces and the point of application of force is also different.
okay, sir.
Now, if you have any question, please ask. No question? Good.
Yes.
All right. Give me the answer, everyone. Are you answering or shall I solve this? Pay attention, everyone. Suppose L1 is elongation in this part and L2 is elongation in this part. No, Sania, 1 by 2L is not the answer. Mm-hmm. 13 FL upon 3AY with a question mark, Sakshi is saying. Okay, everyone, please pay attention. So, as I told you, delta L1 is elongation in one part and delta L2 is elongation in second part. That we are assuming. Okay? Okay. By Young's modulus. By Young's modulus. So, Y is equal to F upon A upon delta L by L. This is the formula. And that gives us delta L is equal to FL upon AY. So basically this formula we are going to use. This formula we are going to use, and where we are going to use, pay attention. We are going to use in this part and we are going to use this in this part. Okay, so we have two parts and we'll be using this formula in these two parts. So first of all, for us, delta L will be delta L1 plus delta L2. Okay, this will be your answer, or you can say method to the answer. Now, how much is delta L1? Listen carefully. So delta L1, if you see this part, which is blue colored part, how much is the force acting on it? 3F. How much is length of the part? It is 12 by 3. And how much is A? A is A only. How much is y? It is y only. So delta L1 comes out to be, I am not cancelling 3 by 3, I am writing it as it is. So 6FL upon 3AY. Let me call this as equation 2. I am writing this as 6FL upon 3AY. Okay. You must be wondering why I did not cancel it. Because it will serve our purpose. Now if you talk about second part, which is delta L2. Delta L2 means the portion which is shaded by, or which is highlighted by red circle. Now for that part, if you pay attention, how much is the force? 2F. Because that F was acting only till that point. So for the L by 3 part, the force will be 2F. So delta L2 is equal to 2F into how much is length of this? L by 3 upon area is A and Y is Y. So delta L2 comes out to be 2FL upon 3AY. So this is equation number 3. So from 1, 2 and 3. From 1, 2 and 3. So what do we get? Delta L is equal to delta L1 6FL upon 3AY plus 2FL upon 3AY. So delta L comes out to be 8FL upon 3AY. That is the answer. That is the answer. That is the answer. Okay. Understood, Sakshi? Understood, Aradhya? Understood other people who did not answer? Have you understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now look at the diagram once again and look at the parts how I bifurcated. Okay, bifurcated means I bifurcated it in two small questions basically. How much is length, increase in length in one part, which is delta L1, and how much is increase in length in another part, which is delta L2. And on what basis I bifurcated? On the basis of where the force is acting. Okay, so for blue part, if you see, how much is the total force which is trying to increase its length? How much is the total force which is trying to increase its length? It is 3F. Okay. And for the red part, how much is the force which is trying to increase its length? It is 2F. Sakshi, F is not acting at the end. If you see, F is acting at the boundary of 2L by 3 and L by 3. 2F is acting at the end. 2F is applied at the end. See the diagram clearly. Orange color line. That's why I mentioned it with two different colors. Orange color line is starting at end and going up to 2F. That means how much was the force acting at the end? It was 2F, not F. Yes or no? See the diagram. I have not changed anything. See the diagram yourself. Yes. White color line, if you see, it is acting at the somewhere in between. That means at the length of 2L by 3. That's why I categorically use two different colors, because I knew later this point will be raised. I knew that later at this point will be raised, sir. We could not understand where the force were acting. That's why I chose different color to clearly mention that which force is acting where. Okay. So let me do one thing. Let me give one more question of this type so that you all can apply concepts. and you all can get the answer. Yes or no? That will be better. Okay. So let me give you one more question of this type. All right. It's a good question basically. Question. Find elongation in cylinder. Find elongation in cylinder. Amod is saying, sir, why f is not causing any elongation? Chotu f was causing elongation. You see that f was causing elongation. That's why for L by 3, we took total force as 3f. Okay. And for 2L by 3, no. Yeah, for 2L by 3, we took total force as 3f. And for this point, where end point, right end point, we took force as 2f. Because where the force is acting, this will cause the elongation. Suppose you are hanging from a ceiling, okay, and a small baby is holding your knee. A small baby is holding your knee and hanging with your support. So the force of baby where he is holding you is at your knee. So if you are applying the force of baby below knee, that is not proper thing. The force of baby is acting on your knees only. So it will cause elongation up to knee part, from hand to knee, not below that. Understood? If another baby is hanging at the feet, then that baby is causing elongation in whole body. All right, Amod.
Yes, sir. Good.
Okay, good. So the question now. Varad is saying that the answer this time is 2FL upon AY. Mm. Yash is also saying the same thing. Sakshi is also saying the same thing. Spruha is also saying the same thing. Varun is also saying the same thing. All right. So when the society is saying the same thing, let me see what can be done. Amal is also saying the same thing. Everyone, please pay attention. This is delta L1 and this is delta L2. Delta L1 is elongation in L by 3 part. Let me show them by two different colors. One color is this and another color is this. Okay, just to mention that which part we are considering. So delta L will be delta L1 plus delta L2. Delta L1 and delta L2 are elongations in these two parts. Alright. Now how much is delta L1? So again by formula, which formula? Young's formula. Y is equal to F upon A delta L by L. This is the general formula. So using that, delta L is equal to FL upon AY. Using that, delta L is equal to FL upon AY. So let us use that. Let us use that. So how much is delta L1? I am writing directly. So delta L1 is equal to, now if you see for that part, total F force is 3F. 3 plus 1, 4F, sorry. So 4FL upon L is L by 3. L is L by 3. So 4F into L by 3 upon AY. So that becomes 4FL upon 3AY. This is equation number 2 for today. Now how much will be in delta L2? Is equal to, excuse me. Yeah. So if you see at the end, the only force which is acting is F. At the right end, the only force which is acting is F. So this force F would be causing elongation in L2 part. So delta F is equal to F into L. L is 2L by 3 upon AY. So that becomes 2FL upon 3AY. Right. So that is equation number 3. From 1, 2 and 3. From 1, 2 and 3. So delta L will be 4FL upon 3AY plus 2FL upon 3AY. This becomes 6FL upon 3AY is equal to 2FL upon AY. Answer. So answer comes out to be 2FL upon AY. Answer comes out to be 2FL upon AY. Any doubt, any question, anyone? Any doubt, any question, anyone? Okay, good. 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 Next question.
So,
Yes.
how is the force on the first part L by 4F?
Force on first part is See,
So how
length
is
is
it
L
4?
by 4f. Okay. If you see the total force, this is 3 and this is 4f. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is 3f plus f becomes how much?
4F.
Okay. Now you tell me, is 3f acting at the midpoint? Midpoint means internal point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is f acting at the end point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you add up these two, 3f and f, are these the total value become 4f?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it acting in right direction?
Yes.
Okay. If you have played tug of war and two persons are pulling the rope in same direction, will their forces be added?
They will be, sir.
Yeah, so that's what we have done. It is a tug of war happening between two civilizations. Okay,
Okay, sir.
got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, until people come in Sparta mode, they don't understand. Next question. I know, I hope you understand what is Sparta. Hmm? Do you know the story behind Sparta? Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
What was that? So there is a surface, this surface, all right, and this angle is theta. It is given. The force acting here is F, and the area is A. The question is find stress on line AB. Line AB. Okay. How much will be the stress on line AB? Okay. Line AB means this is an area basically. This is area. Are you getting what I am trying to say? We have a cylinder, okay? That cylinder has some length. Let me give you that also, L. And it also has area of cross section A, which is mentioned clearly. Now, there is a surface drawn. There is a surface drawn. It is imaginary surface. Imaginary surface so that you can find stress on that surface. Okay, so rather than calling me it line, let me call it surface. So find stress on surface AB. How much will be the stress? All right, all right. Okay, everyone, please pay attention. When we try to find stress, what do we need? We need two things. First is how much is force acting on it, and second thing is how much is area of that. So pay attention, everyone. If I extend this further, then this angle and this angle is theta, right? Okay. And we are trying to find what are we trying to find? We are trying to find stress. So stress means we have to find perpendicular force. Stress means we have to find perpendicular force. So if this is F, then this will be F sine theta. This will be F sine theta. All right. Okay. One more thing. One more thing which you should understand is that this value is A. This value is A. All right. Now, if this value is A, suppose this area is A dash. So what you can understand is A dash sine theta is equal to A. So basically A dash is equal to A upon sine theta. So we have got A dash also, and we have got F sine theta also, or let me call it F dash. So stress will be F dash upon A dash. F dash is F sine theta. F dash is F sine theta upon A dash is A upon sine theta. So that becomes stress is equal to F sine square theta upon A. This is the answer. This is the answer. Okay. Amod and Sakshi, please note and see what mistake you have made. All right. Not just the component of force will be taken. You have to take the area of surface. Area of surface also. All right. And area of surface will be more than A. Area of surface will be more than A. Yash is asking, sir, how A dash sine theta is equal to A? Because this area A dash is more than A. A component of A dash is A. A component of A dash is A. You can imagine, if you want to visualize this, you can imagine A dash as the hypotenuse and A as perpendicular or base. All right, depending on your angle theta. Understood? Okay. 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 These are all small questions which are asked, and these are the only type of questions which are asked from this chapter. Yash is saying, sir, I did not understand F sine theta. if this force is F, how much will be its component along which is away from theta? If it is along theta, it can be F cos theta. If it is away from theta, what component it will be? It will be F sin theta. Now understood, Yash? We have resolved F into two components. One along the surface, which is F cos theta. One perpendicular to surface, which is F sin theta. All right. You need to sell your phone on OLX. Yes. Try OLX. Get a new one. Okay. If you are getting a high-end phone, please get two. All right. I hope you understood what is meaning of second phone. All right. Very nice. Aradhya has given the brand also. Very nice, Aradhya. You are at the in right direction. Let us move further. Let us move further. There is something called elastic potential energy. There is something called elastic potential energy. Okay. So basically, when you are stretching any object, its shape is getting deformed. Its shape is getting deformed. Now, due to that deformed shape, an energy gets stored in it. An energy gets stored in it. All right. So that energy is called elastic potential energy. So please write, whenever an object is deformed, whenever an object is deformed, an energy gets stored in it. This energy, due to deformation, due to deformation, is called elastic potential energy. This energy due to deformation is called elastic potential energy. Just to tell you, everyone, please pay attention. This elastic potential energy basically is the energy due to deformation, or you can otherwise, in other words, if you want to say or understand, you can understand that due to the strain which is occurring. Strain means change in shape. So when the strain is occurring, because of that strain, energy is getting stored in it. So if you have seen the example of spring, it is the same energy, elastic potential energy. If you have seen example of bow and arrow, it is the same energy. So wherever you see shape deformation and energy associated with that, it is due to elastic potential energy. It is due to elastic potential energy. All right. So EPE, elastic potential energy, is equal to 1 by 2, there is a formula, into stress, into strain, into volume. This is the formula. Elastic potential energy, EPE, is equal to 1 by 2 into stress, into strain, into volume. Elastic potential energy is equal to 1 by 2 into stress into strain into volume. Okay. By Young's modulus. By Young's modulus. So Y is equal to stress upon strain. Y is equal to stress upon strain. So what you can do, you can replace stress by Y into strain. So EPE is equal to 1 by 2, and in place of stress what we are writing, Y into strain. So this will be Y into strain whole square into volume. Okay. So this is equation 2. Now if you want to replace strain rather than stress, then also you can do, or EPE is equal to Y half into Y into stress square, no, stress square upon Y into strain, no, not strain, volume. All right. So this will be the thing. This will be the thing, because stress is equal to Y into strain. So strain will be stress upon Y. All right. There is something called energy density. So it is very simple thing, but let me define that also. Energy density. Energy stored per unit volume is called energy density. Energy stored per unit volume. Energy stored per unit volume is called energy density. Okay. So ED means energy density is equal to 1 by 2 into stress into strain. Okay. So basically, if you divide if you take the volume in the previous question to left side, then it will be like this. So let me call this equation 4. The same ED can be written as 1 by 2 into Y into strain square. Okay. This is 5, and ED can also be 1 by 2 into stress square upon Y. Okay. Please note. Please note, everyone. Any doubt, any question, anyone? No doubt, no question. Very nice. Can we move further? Okay. Now, just to tell you, suppose there is a wire. There is a wire. For wire, Young's modulus is Y, area of cross section is A, and L is the length. Okay. And if you are stretching this wire within the elastic limit, so if wire Y is comma A comma L, because these three are important parameters for any wire. If wire is stretched, within elastic limits, within elastic limits, then it behaves as a spring. It behaves as a spring for which spring constant K is equal to AY by L. K is equal to AY by L. All right. So this is the value of, or this is how we get the value of K of a spring. So basically what you can do, I am using a different color. You can denote this by a spring K, and K is equal to AY by L. K is equal to AY by L. All right. Any doubt, any question? Okay, good. All right. So let us move further. Question. So this is a block of mass capital M. Wire is of length L A Y. So if wire is, or you can say block is hanging, if block is hanging by wire as shown, if block is hanging by wire as shown, find number 1 tension in wire, number 2 elongation in wire, number 3 energy stored in wire, just to make it more clear I am talking about EPE. Okay, and number 4 decrease in potential energy of block due to increase in length of wire. Increase in length of wire. So if you notice, so far we used to consider string or wire as unstretchable. Okay, so far in our world, in our questions, the wire used to be unstretchable. Basically you could not stretch it, or its length was not increasing so far. But in this chapter, specifically as we are dealing with these concept of stretching, forces, extension in length, that's why first time I am mentioning clearly that length is increasing, and we are trying to find the answer that how much it is increasing. Okay, so do that. Everyone, please pay attention. Let's focus. So tension in wire is quite easy to solve. Mg is acting downward, tension is acting upward, and block is hanging in equilibrium. So T minus Mg is equal to 0. T comes out to be Mg. Okay. If you have not done this much, then you are a very, very, very lazy person and you should be punished. Okay. If you have not done this much also, then now comes elongation in wire. So how much the wire will get elongated? Now to solve this elongation part, we need to take help of Young modulus. So by Young's modulus, and I am using directly F y is equal to FL upon y is equal to F upon A upon delta L by L. That gives us delta L is equal to FL upon AY. So delta L here will be F is mg, L is L upon AY. So this is the value of delta L. This is the value of delta L. Alright. Now comes energy stored in wire. Alright. So U is equal to half into stress into strain. So rather than using stress, because we have already calculated, yeah, half into stress square upon y into volume. I'm using this. We can use strain also, we can use stress also. It is all fine. So U is equal to half into stress square upon y. There is no square on y upon volume. So that comes out to be U is equal to half is half. Stress will be mg upon A. mg upon A. mg upon A whole square into 1 upon y into volume. Volume will be A into L. Volume is volume of wire. When we say volume, volume means volume of wire. Okay. So U will be half into m square. Let me use white. M square into G square upon A square into AL upon Y. So A got cancelled. So U came out to be M square G square L upon 2AY. U came out to be M square G square L upon 2AY. How many of you got that? How many of you got that? Hmm. 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 Even after changing the answer, Aradhya, answer is not correct. Okay. Now comes decrease in potential energy of block due to increase in length of wire. So that part, fourth part, will be very easy. Why? Delta U is equal to mgh. mgh. So M is M for the block, G is G for the block. What is H? H is delta L. H is delta L. As simple as that. Your potential energy, Aradhya, is coming in terms of mg. How come dimensions of energy are same as dimensions of force? How come dimensions of energy are same as dimensions of force, Mr. Aradhya? So delta U is equal to mg.
Sir, I made a calculation mistake, sir.
No, you have made a dimensional mistake. Calculation is different. Your answer is not at all correct. Calculation mistake is when your answer is dimensionally correct but numerical value is slightly different. Okay? Understand the difference
Yes, sir.
between two. Into
Okay,
mgl upon AY. So delta U comes out to be, and this is change in PE, mind it, of block, है ना? So delta U comes out to be m square G square L upon AY. Please note, everyone, please note. And if you want to talk in terms of energy, If you are not directly calling it a decrease in energy, then we need to use minus sign also. Okay, as we have already used the word decrease, that's why we are not using minus sign. But if you are talking about change in energy, then minus sign should be used. All right. All right. So delta U is equal to m square g square L upon AY. M square g square L upon AY. Okay. If you look closely, what can you see? Is there any relation between third answer and fourth answer? Is there any relation between energy stored in wire and decrease in potential energy of block? Is there any connection? Yes, actually. The energy stored in wire is exactly half of decrease in potential energy of block. Okay, keep that thing in mind. All right. So energy stored in wire is half of energy or half of decrease of energy of block. Okay, understood? So you can write this also in your own words. Energy stored, star point. Energy stored in wire is half of decrease of energy or decrease in potential energy of block. Energy stored in wire is half of decrease in potential energy of block. This point you should all keep in mind. Okay, exactly half. And that will be true for all the cases. So that is enough for today. We'll study further in the next class. All right. Okay, everyone.
Thank you so